I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but I have this to tell you about here in a few minutes too. Hi, I'm the Fairy Yarn Mother, and welcome to my studio. I am a mother of 5, a wife of 10.5 years to my husband Austin. You saw him last time. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to be here today because it's really hard to get all 5 kids settled. Specifically, the 3-year-old that we know likes to get into trouble when we're not around. So, and our oldest is not old enough to be able to keep him out of trouble. So it's really hard to get us to do something together where we need the kids quiet and busy. That kind of time just isn't available to us. So I'm having to do this podcast alone on Valentine's Day. So happy late Valentine's Day, because by the time you get this, it will not be Valentine's Day, I don't think. Unless I get it edited today. Either way, happy Valentine's Day. Saint Valentine, pray for us. If you didn't know, Saint Valentine, Valentine's Day, Saint Valentine, believed love should have a chance. The emperor, bishop, the ruler of the time, I don't remember phrases. The ruler of the time of Saint Valentine decided to ban marriage because he thought single soldiers would fight better, and Saint Valentine would marry couples in secret so that they could love each other. So that's why we have Valentine's Day. I don't know, I love it. Oh, and he was martyred for that. You know, it was the early centuries where you just got killed for nothing. Anyway, let's talk about yarn and all the things. What did I finish? I finished my church grandpa's poncho. I'll post a picture right here. That was a long and tedious project. It was knit and purl, I-cord edging. I loved the finished project. I loved the finished, what do you call that? I loved the finished project. I got very tired of doing that project though, because it was knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and I love that autumn olive green that I made it in, and it looks fantastic. He loves it. He wears it all the time. But it was very boring and mundane after a while. I used 3 skeins, complete skeins of our DK in the tweed. So if you want to make this, it is a very mindless project. So if you're wanting something to do while you watch TV or something to do and knit while you're at your social circle, I would recommend it for that, because it really is your basic knit, purl, I-cord, edges, whatever. So basic. And then you just sew, like you fold it in half and sew part of the shoulder. It was so easy, and it looks kind of complicated in my opinion. So that was the Lucky Stripes Poncho by Church Mouse Yarns and Tees. Very simple pattern, very easy. What else did I finish? I finished my Gnome Socks, also here. This was our knitting social group project. I decided to go with a Valentine's Day theme. I am just now getting into socks. I could not do them for a while. I just didn't feel comfortable doing them. I tried different techniques. I made the gnome socks. I absolutely fell in love with color work. Not ready for a big project yet, but I did fall in love with color work. I loved getting these gnomes done, and their little noses are baubles. Didn't really like the baubles. At least not on fingering. Like, ugh, I could stand to not do those again, but they're cute. It's adorable. And then I also realized that my gauge on socks is like so much larger. So I need to downsize my needles a lot. I also think I need to make the smaller size in socks for myself, because those socks ended up being really big. I'm going to wash and dry them. I really hope they shrink, because they're huge. Like, they're for a size 12 foot. They're so big. That's how big they feel. And then I'm making another pair of socks out of our Flutterfoot Guild subscription. And those are turning out too big too. But once again, my gauge is a little bit off. So since I brought those up, let's talk about the Flutterfoot Guild. What is the Flutterfoot Guild? Why does my brain do that? Okay, so the Flutterfoot Guild is the Fairy Yarn Mother's sock subscription. You get an exclusive colorway. I'm going to take it off cinematic, I think. Let me center myself back up since it's going to focus on me or the project. Aha! Flutterfoot Guild is our sock subscription. We have 2 bases, DK and fingering. You get a 100-gram skein and a 20-gram skein of an exclusive colorway. So this colorway is exclusive. This was our January colorway. It came with like a mauve yarn and these beautiful blues and berry colors. I really should learn the name of these different shades because every time I pick up something, I'm like, it's a cute blue and pink. Look at it. It's adorable. And then I'm like, I really need like an actual name for that, you know? Need an actual name for that. So this was January. I just died. Well, I didn't just die because everybody's already got February's colorway, which is February. And February was themed off of Valentine's Day. So we have a beautiful light pink with reddish pink speckles and then just tidbits of brown. Let me see if I can find some brown speckles here to represent, of course, our Valentine's Day and chocolate. You can see the darker speckles right here. Oh, I'm going to have to take it off cinematic. Hang on. Okay, let's see if we can get that off cinematic now. I took the skein that had less speckles. However, there could be some. Oh, here we go. Oh, yes, right there. Let me just untwist it for you. Honestly, I think the cinematic was showing it up better. Hang on. Y'all are going to learn this videoing with me. That's what you're going to do. Anyway, here are the speckles. Here we got some brown ones. Absolutely beautiful. Just trying to focus the camera in. Why is it? There we go. Oh, aren't they beautiful? Absolutely lovely. I love the little speckles of brown. Kind of tones down. It tones down the pinks, I feel like. But this is such a light pink. It's such a happy pink. And then we matched it with a red mini. I already caked my mini because it was all tangled up when I went to hang it up, and there was no twisting it into a hank because of it being so tangled. So, red mini. How adorable. So this was February's, called February. We're doing a fairy theme. So we had January. We had January and we had February. For those of you who are like, oh, the sock subscription is pink. I don't want pink. Next month is not going to be pink. I promise. Well, I mostly promise, unless pink is an accident. But I've got a plan in my brain, and it's not going to be pink. So, but I feel like these are 2 different pinks. And I mean, January, I just feel like mauves and deep purples are January's just colors for January. I've got to figure out a different toe. I hate this toe. I hated the toe I did before it. I really want to do toe up, but I love this heel. So guys, is there a way to do this heel and do toe up? I don't think there is. I think you have to do the Fleagle heel from toe up. But like I said, I'm just getting into socks, so I don't know. So that's our sock subscription. In our sock subscription, your opening order, you're going to receive a Flutterfoot Guild subscription pin. This is exclusive. This specific, this pin is exclusive to the Flutterfoot Guild, mostly because it says official member of the Flutterfoot Guild and has our logo in the middle. You're going to receive a stitch marker with that. So in January, you would have received our fairy spreading fairy dust. And in February, you would have received our fairy dyeing yarn with a color wheel surrounding her. You'll also get a matching sticker to the stitch markers, or you will start to. January did not come with a matching sticker, but here on out you will get a matching sticker. If you didn't sign up at the beginning of the year for our Flutterfoot Guild membership, you will still receive this pin in your opening order, and you will receive whatever we have left of previous pins. So if you didn't sign up for January and February's colorway, you can get those pins, but that's only while my supplies last for this year. I think I have about 8 left, so the next 8 subscribers will be able to get matching pins. You're also able to back order colorways. So if you loved these colorways and you want these colorways and you signed up for the Flutterfoot Guild subscription in March, all you have to do is shoot me a message and I will dye that on any base you want. If you just want it in socks, totally fine. If you want it in our silk base or our worsted base, just all you have to do is shoot me a message. That's part of the Flutterfoot Guild subscription, is you get access to these exclusive colors for as long as you're a Flutterfoot. You'll get an exclusive coupon as well for any orders made outside the Flutterfoot Guild subscription, and that does include being able to use the coupon on extras you would order from that subscription. It does not go on like the month you're using. You'll get a welcome card in your box. You'll get this card every month. This card has pattern recommendations and the exclusive coupon code on the back. So we'll send out 2 pattern recommendations each month. You get an inspo card. So in January, we sent this litany of stitches. I designed this in Canva. It's just a little prayer about stitches. And then this month you would have received a little card about for Valentine's Day, because our February box, or not box, our February subscription was Valentine's Day themed. So you'll get that. On the back of it, we have our logo. These are high quality cards. So if you wanted to, you could frame them, whatever. Okay, so that's our subscription. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'll leave the sign up link below. It's a subscribe anytime. So like right now, if you were to subscribe, you would receive March's subscription. And then after that, your subscription would be billed on the 1st of the month for each month. If you order in February, after February 1st, you don't get February's colorway unless you're back ordering after signing up for March. I hope that's not confusing. And same for like March. If you're not ordered by March 1st, you won't get March's colorway. You'll have to wait for the next month. So these are surprise colorways. There are no sneak peeks, but I promise you we're going to do our best to make them lovely and beautiful each time. I am very picky. If it doesn't turn out the way I want it to, I won't send it to you. So I'm very picky that way. But yeah, that's our Flutterfoot Guild subscription. I love it. It's been so much fun to get to pack it and design it and plan it for you guys. I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but I have this to tell you about here in a few minutes too. Our newest colorway is called Velvet Wing Valentine. It is this beautiful forest green with bright fuchsias and some light pink variations. It's absolutely beautiful. Gives you kind of that moody feel while also feeling that pop of color, something like a moody romance. And then this is the sock base. This is our worsted weight base. I made it looks so cute worked up. I made a little bonnet and some socks for my friend who's having a baby. It looks really cute. Here's a picture of that here. But I love this color. Absolutely beautiful, moody, but also bright and cheery. Y'all know it wouldn't be the Fairy Yarn Mother if it didn't have some sort of cheery put into it because I love bright colors. So yeah. But on to this. You guys remember on my last podcast, I mentioned that the Fairy Yarn Mother used to be Unraveled, a brick and mortar yarn shop that started off as a just a regular yarn shop, and we moved into dyeing our own yarn, rebranding as the Fairy Yarn Mother when we closed Unraveled. Before we closed Unraveled, I had this vision of flowers all over one of our walls inside windows. It was beautiful. We got it done just a couple months before we had to close, and that made me really, really sad. I tried to give the windows away, but I couldn't get rid of more than one, which was understandable. It was hard to place these windows. I thought that I wasn't gonna get to keep any because I wouldn't have any room, but now that I've settled into the shed, I was like, oh, I know what to do. So I took all the flowers that were off. I think I had 3 windows, not including this one. I took all the flowers off and I put them all in this one window, and I was like, it's gonna go behind me for my podcasts as a reminder of where we came from, of the community we built, of the love that grew. And I'm just so thankful that I got to keep one and I got to put it up because I think it makes a beautiful backdrop. And the idea behind this was that everyone creates something beautiful. Everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own ideas, their own uniqueness, their own beauty to add to the world, and together we make something even more beautiful. So that was the idea behind this. So thank you guys so much for participating in that, for making the memory for me. Sometimes I have a hard time looking at things. I'm not very sentimental most of the time. I think I'm going to get a little more sentimental as I get older, but partly because I now know how to get sentimental. So this is definitely a sentimental piece that I look at with joy. Before, when I couldn't have something or couldn't do something or be something, anything that reminded me of those things, I would just get rid of. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to remind myself of that anymore, because it made me sad to think about the past and the things that were over when I loved those things. So I'm learning, and I have learned, that you can have joy when looking at something. Just because it's over doesn't mean it has to stay sad when you look back on it. It's just a beautiful season to remember, and you can still feel all those feelings of joy every time you look at it. You just got to look at the positive things and not the things that ended. It's something I'm going to continue to learn. It's something I'm learning a lot this year, is just to remember with joy the things that were. Just because some things don't work out doesn't mean that you can't look at them with joy. So anyway, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Thank you all for being a part of the story. So now every time you see this in the background, you can know this was built by our fiber community. This was built by love, and hopefully we get to continue spreading joy and positivity, and everyone can add uniqueness to the world. And I don't know, it sounds really cheesy, but I like cheesy and I like bright colors. Y'all have a good afternoon, day, wherever you're at. Thank you for joining me, and adios. Also, why am I always doing this? Thumbs up from Poppy? Like, what is this? Yay! It's a yay! It's woo! But like, it's annoying. I annoy it. It annoys me. Bye, guys.